my channel or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book related things. And if you hear a bell rattling around in the background, it is still playing with this toy in the middle of my office. Today I am giving you my November wrap up, aka my Clear Your Shit wrap up. So the first month of Clear Your Shit has passed, and I have pretty much stayed like reading to the prompts. Thankfully, I feel like, anyway, so I'm about 50% through the whole thing. I'm going to happily give you the stats and then give you my top and bottom books, which I'm going to disclaim now. I only have one top book and two bottom books. And this is what happens, I guess, when I read books that I got for free, and then also when I continue series. One moment, my husband's cat has escaped his enclosure. I don't even know what I was talking about. I don't even know how that cat escaped. We have a baby gate in front of the door and he just like escaped. You don't know. The cat had surgery, so that's why he's having to be in an enclosure to heal because he has stitches. Okay, anyway. Series continuations is probably why I have no like great books, is because I was reading a bunch of young adult and I just don't care about young adult anymore. It's fine. The struggle is fine. It's real and it's fine. With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the stats. I read a total of 23 books this month. For pages read, that was 2,876, and for audio hours listened, that was 154 hours and 20 minutes, which as days is 6 days, 10 hours, and 20 minutes. My average page per day was 142.4, and my average hours listened per day was 6 hours, 43 minutes, and 43 seconds. Crazy, I know. My average rating was a 3.5 because I pretty much rated a ton of these books just like 3 stars or 4 stars. None of them like rocked my world, but none of them were particularly, well, some of them were particularly bad. But for the most part, I was just like, at best, you know? I purchased a total of one book, which cost me $7.52, and I checked out 16 library books, which saved me $226.01. I reread 6 books. 13 of the books I read were audiobooks, 8 of them were ebooks, and 2 of them were physical books. 6 of those books were adult books, 12 of them were young adult, and 5 of them were middle grade. This is probably the first month where young adult has trumped adult books, and it's because of my focus on series continuation, especially for Clear Your Shit. Like, this was my focus of Clear Your Shit specifically. For genres, I read 3 sci-fi books, 13 fantasy books, 3 romance, 1 thriller, and 1 general nonfiction, and 2 contemporary. I honestly expected the romance numbers to be higher because I feel like I used to read a lot of romance-based fantasy where you would call it romance before you would call it fantasy. I don't know. I almost feel like I should have romantasy as a category at this point because it's hard to choose which is which sometimes. But I won't do that because it would mess up my numbers for my book blanket, and I'm not doing that to myself, you know? I'm just not. I'm not doing it. And that's it for the stats. It has been an interesting month. A lot has happened in the last month that has made it a little bit difficult to stay ahead of my reading, but we persevere, you know? The horrors persist, but so do I. With that being said, let's talk about my top and bottom book of this month. My top book this month was Spelunking Through Hell by Seanan McGuire. This is the 11th book in the Encrypted series. This one follows Alice Price instead, right? Price Healy? Alice Healy? Instead of the younger people in the books. I enjoyed it because she is hinted at a lot. She is the like grandmother of the family who keeps going into these other dimensions to try and find her husband because everybody's like, your husband's dead, and she's like, no, he's not. And I really appreciate the way that we've built up to this part of the story. I think Seanan does a really good job of that, where like there's all these like behind the scenes kind of things going on, and they start to slowly come to the forefront and the focus, and I appreciate that a lot. I think that that is fun to read, and yeah, I had a lot of fun reading it, really, is the gist of that. The worst books this month was one was a sequel, and that is The Valkyrie's Shadow by Tiana Warner. The Valkyrie's Daughter, I read as an ARC ages and ages ago, and then I recently reread it, and I enjoyed it. Teenagers be teenagering, and that's like my biggest feedback for the first book was like, teenagers are really insufferable and frustrating to me sometimes, but it is what it is. In the second book, the hyper-focus on the romance instead of the plot was very annoying to me, to the point where I was like, why do we even have a second book? We didn't need one. I feel like these stories were done. I was bored. I just didn't care. We talked about sex a lot, which is okay, but I'm indifferent to reading about sex in young adult books. Like, it's not for me. It's not for me in adult books either, to be clear. I don't care for it most of the time, and so I was just like, This is not why I picked this book up, was to see that romance flourish or not, or change. Like, that's not why I picked the book up. So to see that become the focus was a bit frustrating to me, because it was just like, I don't give a fuck about this, to be honest. So I like it when the romance is kind of either have it be the main focus in the first book, or have it be undertoned throughout the entire series, but don't do that, and don't do it within, 2 books. Like, to Shannon's October Day, it's the slowest of slow burns. Like, her romance is not the main focus of the plots, but it does get more and more of a focus by like book 8, like we're in deep by the time it becomes more of a focal point. By book 2, it becoming more of the focal point than the plot is a little bit like Jesus Christ. But I get it. The times have changed when it comes to books and who the audience is and what they are looking for. It just is not for me. So there's that. Next up, we have Knife River by Justine Champagne, which was almost the first book I've DNF'd this entire year. I have gotten through this whole year so far, November, without DNFing a single book, which is crazy. Like, that's honestly very impressive. I've never done that before. And I was very proud of this fact, because it means that I have very carefully selected the books that I've been reading. And I hate this book. Hated this book. It was boring. I didn't give a fuck about the mystery. I didn't give a fuck about the characters. I didn't give a fuck about the small town. All of the drama was small town drama. I was just so bored. I was so bored. I just did not care. Didn't care about any of it. And I hate that, because like, it could have been very interesting. I just didn't care. None of it was as interesting as it could have been. And that, it just wasn't worth it for me. I just found it very boring, and it just was not worth it. And that's really, like, I can't even give it like a direct plot point that I hated. I was just fucking bored that I almost DNF'd. I was so bored that I almost DNF'd it. So here we are. That's it though. That is the wrap up. Short and sweet this time, because not a whole lot to say. I didn't have a lot of great books. I didn't have a lot of bad books, so not a whole lot to complain about this time. But that's it. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And if you didn't enjoy this video, let me know in the comments down below how I can make it better for you. If you've read any of these books, want to read any of the books, I know I only mentioned 3, let me know. Do you have the same feelings about romance in books as I do? Probably not. It's super specific, but maybe you do. I don't know. But I will see you guys later. If you're participating in Clear Your Shit, also let me know. How's it going? Are you doing well? I want to know. But that is it. That is my Clear Your Shit Part 1 wrap up. You'll get my Clear Your Shit Part 2 wrap up next month, end of the month anyway. So yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. I think I said that already. I will talk to you guys later. See you on Thursday. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves. Okay, thanks, bye.